What's good, everyone? I'm P,
And I'm T.
and we are back. We've only got one video this week in the midst of all of the fun Roni virus, the pandemic. So today we have chosen to play a game called MindTrap. We played this a little bit when we live streamed for Area of Effect. It's basically like a mind teaser kind of game, where you are presented with a question, and they're not necessarily riddles, but they are things that will test your wit specifically. So Tim has three, and I have three, and we will be asking each other the questions and hopefully answering them correctly.
Patrick, hit us with the first question for me.
First question. My face is gonna get dark.
It's okay. I'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post. All right.
Yes.
So here's a great example. Question number one. Shadow was just about to knock on Sid Shady's front door. That's his name, Sid Shady. When he heard Mrs. Shady shout, "Graham, you're cheating! I know you are!" Shadow knocked, and when Mrs. Shady answered the door, he said he was looking for Mr. Shady. Mrs. Shady explained she was in the middle of a card game and that her husband would be home shortly. Before resuming the card game, Mrs. Shady made some quick introductions. "Detective Shadow, this is my postman, my plumber, and my mechanic." Although Shadow had never met them before, he knew immediately which one of the three Mrs. Shady had accused of cheating. How could Shady know whom Graham was?
You know, I think we've already had this question.
I think we have.
One of them was female. I think that's the answer, right?
Let's check.
Something like one of them was female. I think that's the. We might have to.
You're on the right track.
So she accused someone of cheating on her with her
No,
husband?
just says cheating. Well, let me
cheating in general. How could he know? Maybe we didn't have this question. That or I don't remember, so I guess it's a win-win.
It might be one that you've had because you've played MindTrap for a long time. You're on the right track with the male-female thing.
What did she say? What was her quote?
What was her quote?
Didn't she say? Didn't like he like Shadow hear something or something like that?
Graham, you're cheating. I know you are.
Because the other two are women. There's only one other guy.
Yes, but who?
How the hell would I know?
How could Shady know which one Graham was? So you've got.
Oh, okay. Oh, so there's two women and one dude.
Right.
So there's whoever the dude was.
But
there's three women and one guy.
How do you know? Which one is the male? That's the question. Which one is the male?
No, check their pants.
So a postman, a plumber, and a mechanic.
Oh, postman.
There you go.
Hey, that's like, dude, I don't know how to check if he's male. Check his pants.
As you'll see, when we're playing this game, these cards have no context in some of the questions. Like, there were no context clues to the other two people being women. It didn't say anything about only having one man in the scenario. Like, it just gives you the bare amount, and it's just like, here, nonsense question to figure it out.
All right, Patrick, here's your question. Mr. Shady, inquired Shadow. That's his name, Shadow the detective. "I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. Your brother-in-law is dead, and I have reason to believe he was murdered." "Oh, no," replied Shady. "I just saw Sam a couple of days ago. To tell you the truth, I'm not surprised. Sam did have a big mouth and quite a few enemies. As a matter of fact, both of my sister's husbands and Sam had a big fight over a business deal that turned sour. Then there was a friend of my brother's who loaned Sam 50 grand and never got it back. Another person is my wife's brother, who just got out of jail. He accused Sam of framing him. He swore he would get even. As Shady rambled on about Sam's enemies, Shadow read him his rights and arrested him on suspicion of murder. Why?
God,
Holy shit.
I kept thinking about how much you sounded like Donald Trump that I honestly don't.
Oh, really? I mean, I guess a good name for our president would be Mr. Shady.
Mr. Shady, rip. So, oh God, you might have to read it again.
Oh, okay. I'll read the pertinent parts because there's a lot of fluff. So Shadow comes in and says, hey, he tells Shady, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. Your brother-in-law is dead.
Brother-in-law's dead.
Your brother-in-law is dead, and I have reason to believe he was murdered. Okay?
Yep.
And then immediately Shady says, oh no, I just saw Sam a couple of days ago. To tell you the truth, though, I'm not surprised. He goes on to talk about some enemies and about how both of her sister's husbands and Sam had a big fight over a business deal that turned sour. That's like the good chunk of what you'll need to solve the riddle.
Okay, so business deal went south. He saw his brother-in-law a couple days ago.
Not relevant.
Not relevant.
Yep.
I feel like the most relevant thing is the arguments.
Nope.
No?
Nope. I will give you we'll fast track things. Make sure.
Oh, is there a hint? Is there a hint?
There's two hints. Oh. But I'll give you the first one and see if you can start connecting a dot. It says an innocent Mr. Shady jumped to a conclusion he could not have known.
Oh. Okay, so it does have. It does have to do with the argument then.
No, I'll read it to you again with a little bit more pizzazz. A couple things. So Shadow comes in and says, yo, Mr. Shady, I'm afraid I got some bad news for you. Your brother-in-law is dead, and I have reason to believe he was murdered. Okay, so he tells him his brother-in-law is murdered. And then Shady immediately goes into, oh no, I just saw Sam a couple of days ago. You following suit? You catching on? He jumps to a conclusion he could not have known.
Is he assuming that he died today then?
No, not. You're off. I'll give you the second hint. It'll help you. Shady admitted that he had several brothers-in-law. So he had multiple brother-in-laws.
He has multiple brothers. Are they all named Sam?
No.
Are multiple named Sam?
No. You're kind of on the right track, I presume.
I feel like is he getting them mixed up?
Okay, let's
Are
take
they
the
twins?
No, nothing to do with that. Let's go to another assumption. Okay. Let me think. If I were to say something along the lines of my favorite Bungie game is a shooter, what are you gonna assume is my favorite Bungie game that's a shooter?
For sure.
Why are you making that assumption? Because you know this, or because you have prior information? You know what I mean?
Prior information.
So how? Okay, I'm just gonna have to give it to you at this point.
Oh no!
And maybe your brain will light up. How would Shady know that Sam was dead if he was never explicitly told?
He never mentioned that it was Sam.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going to read you the quote to cheer you up a little bit. Okay. There's little cool quotes on the back of these. I saw 6 men kicking and punching my scoundrel brother-in-law. My neighbor said, "Are you going to help?" I said, "No. 6 should be enough."
Yikes. Right. Man, I can't believe I didn't get that sooner. Yeah, he didn't mention which brother-in-law.
the whole point of that question was to throw you off that trail of just you got to get back in the mind trap things. You know, we've been away so long, our brains aren't working the right way anymore.
It's kind of like that old. It's kind of like that old question, like similar. Like you're driving a bus, and at your first bus stop, you pick up 7 kids. Next stop, you drop off 3. The next stop after that, you pick up 5. The next stop after that, you drop off 2. Next stop after that, you drop off 1. What color are the bus driver's eyes?
What? No clue.
The point of that whole thing is to make people try to do math and forget the first thing you said is you're driving a bus. Yeah, you're driving a bus. Math. What color are the bus driver's eyes again? But we didn't talk about eyes. We talked about numbers.
Yeah. Like, it's the very essence of MindTrap.
The dead body of Carrie Queen, that's her name, Carrie Queen, the famous American romance novelist, lay slumped across his hotel room desk. His hand lay near an empty bottle of sleeping pills. A suicide note lay on the desk. "It's so strange," said the bellhop. "As I was carrying Mr. Queen's bags, he was talking excitedly about being in England. As a matter of fact, he said this was the first time he had ever been out of the U.S., and he was planning to write his next novel with London as the setting." Shadow looked at the note. It read, "I have lost my will to live. My work has received all the honor it deserves. My writing was the center of my life, but in retrospect, I suppose they're just trashy novels. As the color fades from my eyes, I can only hope for a better life in the next world." "Based on this, I'm sure Mr. Queen was murdered," declared Shadow. "Why?" I think you're going to actually have to take a look at this one. Like the question portion. So I sent these to you on Facebook just so I can pull them up on my PC. That's a pretty decent hint that I'm giving you as well, because without actually looking at the card, you wouldn't. There are no other hints.
So there's no hints on the card.
There are 2 hints, and the first one is let the person answering the question read the card to himself.
No. I'm going to do this try hard mode. I want you to read the suicide note one more time. That's the important part, right? That's what's going to make or break this case.
Okay.
Right?
"I have lost my will to live. My work has received all the honor it deserves."
No, I'm telling you right now, I know the answer. Honor is spelled with O-U-R instead of, if he's American, he spells it differently.
"My writing was the center of my life, but in retrospect, I suppose they're just trashy novels. As the color fades from my eyes, I can only hope for a better life in the next world."
Yep, everything is spelled the British English way. If you're like, so you have center being spelled C-E-N-T-R-E, right? Yep. So it's totally not spelled as if he was writing it as an American.
Can you give me the other word too? Because there's 3.
Honor, center, and color. C-O-L, color, O-U-R.
That's the one. Since Mr. Carrie Queen was born and raised in the United States, he would not have spelled the words honor, center, and color as they appeared in the notes. Since this is the British way of spelling these words, an American would have written honor, O-R, center, no E, and color, no U.
See, I didn't need no help. I didn't need to reach Nikes.
All right.
I think
we get
I have.
Brain.
All right, question for Patrick and the kids at home. Shadow answered a burglary call at the home of his friend, Captain Frank. That's his name. It's very key. As Shadow was combing the house for clues, He opened the bedroom door and saw Mrs. Frank, who had hanged herself. Just then, Captain Frank came down the hall and told Shadow not to bother with the bedrooms since the burglars never entered them. Shadow closed the bedroom door and continued his investigation at the other end of the house. Why wouldn't Shadow respond to what he saw?
Why wouldn't he respond to what he saw? Like her being hanged?
Yes.
Oh no. What kind of response is that?
This is a MindTrap question for show.
Oh no, it's a nonsense one?
Yep.
Kind of like that one about like not loading the chute, not loading the parachute, and him just jumping straight out.
Somehow, yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
So let's
the
Mrs.
hung herself. He responded to a burglary call. When he got there, the Mrs. hung herself. The guy said, "Don't worry about the bedrooms," because the burglars didn't go in there. And then Shady went to the other end of the house and just didn't react to her being hung.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
What? Why didn't he react? He's a detective. I mean, he sees this shit all the time.
Yeah. And well,
is that the answer? Is that the answer?
No. That is the answer is
wacky. Oh.
Way. It's like 2 states over. It's way over there.
Oh no! I hate these.
You're gonna have to use hints eventually, but do your best to kind of put yourself in his shoes. Why wouldn't you react to seeing someone hanged? If that's possible.
Jeepers. Was it like not really the missus? Was it like a fake body?
Was not a fake
mannequin?
body.
Like a mannequin? No?
Minikin? Is that the new kids' toys?
No. A minikin?
Minikin.
Oh, man.
I can give you a hint.
Yes.
This first hint will help guide you, and it's not too giveawayable. Hint number 1. Consider things from a different time and place.
From a different time and place.
Yeah.
Is this a sexist question?
No.
Okay.
Think about MindTrap in a general sense of a lot of the questions have to do with wordplay. Right? So
right. So she
you
is
kind of go
for.
Yes, I would say it represents something else.
Oh. Oh.
The second hint is like a dead giveaway, so I don't really want to give you that hint.
Okay.
But I will read something important.
Yes.
So I'll kind of sum it up for people at home and for Patrick. So he answered. So Shadow came and got a call about a burglary. He comes over, sees stuff's knocked over. He opens the door looking for clues and sees a Captain Frank's wife. So I'm going to read this part. He opened the bedroom door and saw Mrs. Frank, who had hanged herself. And then Captain Frank came down, said, "Don't worry about the bedrooms. There's nothing wrong with the bedrooms." And so he left and checked other stuff out. So,
is it because it has nothing to do with the burglary?
No. Well,
he's like,
he's like,
it doesn't have anything to do with
I didn't get called in for that.
I got called in for a burglary. Whatever.
I'm a detective.
Nonsense happening here.
That is homicide. It's not what I'm doing.
You call me for a burglary. There better be stolen things, and I'm not talking about stolen lives.
Ooh.
I'm talking about like jewels, treasure.
Is your room that you're in now really messy?
It's kind of messy because
do you have? I'll give you a hint. Is there anything on the wall?
Yeah, there's a sign on the wall.
Any like pictures or nothing?
Oh, it's a
Bare
no, it's
wall.
pretty bare.
Okay. Weird. Okay. Just asking. Just wondering. It's the best I can do for you.
Oh my god, is it a picture?
Yes.
Wife? What kind of nonsense is this? What? What is a picture of his wife on the wall?
All right, here you go. When Shadow opened the bedroom door, he saw a photograph of Mrs. Frank on the dresser. And Mrs. Frank had hanged herself several years earlier. So technically it's like a double-edged thing. Like, his wife had already hanged herself, but not then. He saw a picture of his wife who's dead. Right?
What? Yeah, let me tell you about that. This game, since the day we played it, has boggled me.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys were able to play along. Put your answers in the bottom. Call us out on the horrible questions because some are just trash.
Some are absolutely awful. I mean, wife hanged is a picture on the dresser. What?
Oh
What?
wait, no. So like the thing with that was she had hanged herself.
She had
years
hanged
prior.
herself a couple years ago, and he had a picture of her not hanged, but a picture of her just sitting on his dresser.
And then Shadow's like, "Oh, that's your wife who hanged herself is there."
Just an epiphany. Oh, look at that!
I
Isn't
remember.
that nice?
Captain Frank,
Ridiculous.
not only did his house get broken into, but his wife had killed herself. This guy, like, what is this guy even living for anymore? Like, how does he even have the will to live?
Maybe he's got a second wife. I don't know.
Good for him. I don't know.
Good for him. Good on him.
Multiple brother-in-laws.
Multiple brother-in-laws. Poor Sam out here getting shot and killed.
We'll try to get some videos out next week too, and kind of keep up to date with things going on. We're both on lockdown basically. School's closed where Patrick used to live. Now he lives in the great state of New York.
You.
We're kind of just doing our own things, and we'll try to do some more fun content and keep everyone entertained while we're cooped up at home.
100%. So, until next time, stay in, stay safe. I'm Pete.
And I'm T.
Wash your damn hands, and welcome to P&T.